Hello everyone. We are here to explain you a very new and interesting topic through this video. So let's begin. What is the solution we know for equation x square equal to 4? We all know that its solution has two values, plus 2 and minus 2. Since if we square both values we will get same answer, which is 4. This thought that why solution of square term gives one positive and one negative value was first explored by scientist named Paul Dirac. Dirac explained that as x square equal to 4 has solution plus 2 and minus 2, like this all things exist must have its corresponding counterpart, which is similar to original but with different sign, and Dirac named such things anti. Dirac proposed one equation to explain this theory, and that equation later named as Dirac equation. That equation was similar to Schrodinger's wave equation, and from that equation, possibility that anti-electrons which are similar to electrons but have different sign must exist was concluded. So, if anti-electrons can exist, then matter will also have its corresponding counterpart. From this thought, term antimatter came, and Paul Dirac finally in 1928 named this theory modern theory of antimatter. To understand what is antimatter, first we must revise what is matter. So we all know everything around us is made of matter, and matter consists of very small particle called atom. And in atom, electron, proton and neutron are there. We also know that electron has negative charge and proton have positive charge. Now that all being revised, we can proceed to understand what is antimatter. Name itself gives us brief idea about antimatter, that is anti of matter. Now the antimatter is similar to matter. We have electron in atoms of matter, so similarly we will have anti-electrons in atoms of antimatter, and similarly we will get antiproton. Now because it is anti-electron, it will have same mass, same spin, but very importantly it will have positive charge, and similarly antiproton will have negative charge. That being said, we must know that because anti-electron is having positive charge, later it was named positron, which it simply means electron of antimatter atom.
After knowing all these things, now let's take a look at some more interesting information about positron. As we discuss, anti-electron or a positron is a counterpart of electron. It will have similar charge but with different sign. Simply, electron has a negative charge, so positron will have positive charge. But rest all the properties will be the similar to the electron. So we know electron has half as an electron spin, and positron will have same spin, which is half. Now one very important fact about positron that we can use in our application is when positron encounters an electron. In a simpler terms, when positron gets in contact with electron, they both get destroyed completely to release the energy. To understand how it releases the energy, we must know that the positron naturally occurs in a beta plus decay. In a beta plus decay, nuclei which have too many protons is transformed into neutron and release positron with a high speed as a conversion of charges along with neutrino. In simpler terms, nuclei having too many protons releases positron to balance the charge and get stabilized. As per research, satellite experiments have found evidence of positron as well as few antiprotons in a primary cosmic rays. And its amount is less than 1% of the particles in a primary cosmic rays. There is one artificial production method which is also used by physicists. They are use a short ultra intense laser to radiate a millimeter thin gold target and produce more than 100 billion positrons.
Now after knowing all this, we must understand why we are studying these antimatter particles is because it is way more powerful and at same time it is super reactive. First, take a look at some examples of our system that being currently used and can be replaced by using antimatter. First, propulsion system used for rockets. In our current system, chemical propulsion is used in which energy is released using chemical reaction to give thrust. As per latest suggestion by researchers, ion thruster, which is a type of an electric propulsion, can be used for spacecraft propulsion. In this, it simply creates thrust by accelerating ions using electricity. And here, thrust means an force which is used to give an initial push to spacecraft, and because we use electricity here, it is called electric propulsion. Now the thing is, as per newly researched, ion thruster typically uses 1 to 7 kilowatt of power and have exhaust velocity of around 20 to 50 km per seconds and gives thrust of 25 to 250 millinewton, which is good as per our current system, but it can be improved if we use property of antimatter, and how that we will see as we proceed.
Second application is nuclear weapons. Currently, our nuclear weapons contains combination of chemical explosive material and nuclear fission and fusion. So, explosives compress nuclear material, and due to compression, it causes fission, due to which massive amount of energy get released in X-rays form, which causes increase in temperature and pressure, which was required to ignite the fusion, and that's how nuclear weapons work. No doubt, these are powerful, but it takes too much to make it, because isotopes used to make nuclear weapons are highly unstable, and that's why it is not easy to handle it. And also, after this much efforts, nuclear reaction only releases 10% of their energy, and we all know how destructive this 10% can be, and antimatter weapons can be way more powerful than nuclear weapons.
Our third application is tomography. It is radiologic technique for obtaining clear X-ray images of deep internal structures by focusing on specific plane within our body. Basically, it is a method used for our health checkup by observing our internal structure images, for example, our bone or skull and brain, etc. In simple language, tomography is taking images of our inner body structures using X-ray or ultrasound to observe them. As per research, X-ray have low risk of harming human body, but it can have some side effects like vomiting, bleeding, fainting, hair loss. Similarly, we have one more diagnosis method which is used is CT scan, computerized tomography. In this, combining the series of X-ray images taken from different angles around our body using computerized processing is done, and cross-sectional images of bones, blood vessels and soft tissues are created to observe. As in CT scan, series of X-ray images is taken, so this also can cause some side effects. We also have one method for such diagnosis using antimatter, which is known as PET, positron emission tomography. PET is basically very much similar to CT scan. The only difference is in CT scan, X-ray radiation is used, whereas in PET, radiation occurred by emission of positron are used to get images. PET is beneficial for our body because in comparison to X-rays, PET radiations are less harmful for human body. And also, CT scan can have 70% of accuracy in diagnosis, whereas PET can have 90% of accuracy in diagnosis, which means PET is 20% more accurate. As we are discussing medical issues here, we must know that scientists are suggesting that we can use antimatter particles in treatment of cancer. Currently in cancer treatment, surgery with chemotherapy and radiation therapy are some of the methods that are being used. Chemotherapy is a drug treatment where anti-cancer drugs are injected to body and it kills those fast growing cancer tissues. And this is very painful for patients, and there is a possibility that these drugs can also kill other healthy tissues as well. So it can be harmful for the cancer patient. There is one more therapy called particle beam therapy. In this, protons are used to destroy the tumor cells inside a patient. As per recent experiment at CERN, scientists have found that instead of using proton, if we use antiproton, it can result us 4 times better than proton, which means in comparison to proton, we need 4 times lesser antiprotons to destroy tumor cells. And antiproton has better ability than any other particle that it can preserve healthy tissues inside patient. So, antimatter can be definitely used to cure cancer.
Now let's get back to point that how can we use antimatter to improve our propulsion system. As per research, when proton and antiproton destroys each other, the energy they release by destroying each other is 10 billion times greater than oxygen hydrogen combustion, and same energy is at least 100 times more energetic than fission or fusion. In simpler words, when 1 gram of antihydrogen reacts with equal amount of normal hydrogen, it releases same amount of energy as 23 space shuttle external tanks. So we can conclude that even when small amount of antimatter when reacts with same amount of matter, it can result in massive amount of energy. Now being aware of power of antimatter, let's have a look at how antimatter can be used to make bombs powerful than nuclear bombs. First thing, nuclear bombs are the explosion caused in atmosphere due to nuclear fusion, and this bomb uses only 10% energy released from the nuclear reaction. But if we use antimatter bomb, it will result us 100% of its efficiency. Because when antimatter reacts with matter, they totally destroys each other. That's why antimatter bombs will be 100% efficient. As per research, only 10 kg of antimatter can release 10 billion times energy than a energy which one TNT bomb can release. Due to its 100% of efficiency, when matter and antimatter collides, it can produce big explosions. So that's how antimatter can be very explosive and destructive.